What are some lesser-known Bible stories that reveal extraordinary moments of faith, courage, and divine intervention? While many of us are familiar with stories like David and Goliath or Noah's Ark, the Bible is filled with fascinating tales that often go unnoticed. Today, we're uncovering 7 captivating stories that highlight unexpected heroes and miraculous events. From Ehud's clever victory to the prophet Ezekiel's vision in the Valley of Dry Bones, these narratives offer unique insights into God's power and wisdom. Now, let's explore these hidden gems together and discover the profound lessons they hold. 1. The story of Ehud. Ehud is a left-handed hero from the book of Judges. He was sent to deliver a tribute to Eglon, the Moabite king. Ehud used his unique left-handedness to his advantage, concealing a dagger and assassinating Eglon, thereby leading Israel to victory. Ehud's left-handedness was unusual in his time and gave him a strategic edge, as most warriors expected of right-handed opponents. When he presented the tribute, he managed to get close to the king under the guise of delivering a secret message. Once alone with Eglon, Ehud retrieved the dagger strapped to his right thigh, a place guards would not typically search. With a swift and unexpected move, he plunged the dagger into the king's belly. The assassination caused chaos among the Moabites, and Ehud used this to rally the Israelites. They struck down about 10,000 Moabite soldiers, securing a significant victory and bringing peace to Israel for 80 years. Ehud's cleverness and bravery demonstrate how unconventional strategies can lead to extraordinary outcomes, reminding us that strength and ingenuity often come from unexpected places. This lesser-known story from the Bible showcases the theme of divine deliverance through unlikely heroes. 2. Balaam and the talking donkey. In the book of Numbers, Balaam, a pagan prophet, is stopped by an angel while on his way to curse the Israelites. Interestingly, his donkey sees the angel and refuses to move. When Balaam beats the donkey, it miraculously speaks, reprimanding Balaam and revealing the angel. This story begins with Balaam being summoned by Balak, the Moabite king, to curse the Israelites who were advancing toward Moab. Despite God's initial warning to Balaam not to go, Balaam sets out on his donkey. Along the way, an angel of the Lord blocks their path, unseen by Balaam but visible to the donkey. The donkey turns aside, crushes Balaam's foot against a wall, and finally lies down, refusing to proceed. Frustrated, Balaam beats the donkey 3 times. Then the Lord opens the donkey's mouth, and it questions Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" At that moment, Balaam's eyes are opened, and he sees the angel with a drawn sword, realizing his error. The angel chastises Balaam, emphasizing the donkey's obedience and Balaam's disobedience. This extraordinary event underscores the themes of divine intervention, obedience, and the unexpected ways God communicates his will. 3. The Witch of Endor. In the first book of Samuel, King Saul seeks the Witch of Endor to summon the spirit of the prophet Samuel. This story is intriguing as it delves into the supernatural, a theme not commonly explored in the Bible. As Saul faces a dire situation with the Philistine army closing in, he feels abandoned by God, who no longer answers him through prophets or dreams. In desperation, Saul disguises himself and visits the witch. Despite having previously banned necromancy in Israel, he asks her to conjure up Samuel's spirit. The witch, initially fearful of being tricked, proceeds with the summoning. To her and Saul's surprise, the spirit of Samuel appears, foretelling Saul's impending doom. Samuel reprimands Saul for his disobedience to God, predicting that Saul and his sons will die in battle the next day and that Israel will fall to the Philistines. This encounter underscores Saul's tragic downfall and the consequences of straying from God's guidance. The story of the Witch of Endor is a rare glimpse into the Bible's exploration of the supernatural, highlighting themes of desperation, divine judgment, and the futility of seeking forbidden means for guidance. 4. Nebuchadnezzar's madness. King Nebuchadnezzar, a prominent figure in the book of Daniel, is punished by God for his arrogance. He is driven to madness, living like a beast for 7 years. This story serves as a powerful reminder of humility and the consequences of pride. Nebuchadnezzar, the mighty ruler of Babylon, is warned in a dream interpreted by Daniel that his pride will lead to his downfall unless he acknowledges God's sovereignty. Ignoring the warning, he boasts about his achievements and the grandeur of his kingdom. At that moment, a voice from heaven declares his fate. He will be stripped of his sanity and live among the animals, eating grass like an ox. Immediately, Nebuchadnezzar loses his mind and is driven away from human society. For 7 years, he roams the wilderness, his hair growing like eagle's feathers and his nails like birds' claws. This period of madness humbles him, and upon regaining his sanity, he praises and honors God, acknowledging his dominion and power. Nebuchadnezzar's transformation from prideful ruler to humble servant of God illustrates the dangers of hubris and the importance of recognizing and submitting to divine authority. This story is a timeless lesson in the value of humility and the perils of excessive pride. 5. The 4 lepers of Samaria. In the 2nd book of Kings, 4 leprous men, considered outcasts, become unlikely heroes. They discover that the Syrian army has fled, leaving behind their camp and provisions, which saves Samaria from a severe famine. During a dire siege by the Syrians, the city of Samaria faces extreme starvation. These 4 lepers, forced to live outside the city due to their condition, decide to take a desperate risk. They reason that staying at the city gates means certain death from hunger, and going to the Syrian camp might result in mercy, or at worst, a quick death. To their astonishment, when they arrive at the camp, they find it deserted. Unbeknownst to them, God had caused the Syrians to hear the sounds of a great army, leading them to flee in panic, abandoning their supplies. The lepers begin to eat and drink, taking some of the spoils, but soon realize the moral duty to share this good news with the starving city. They return to Samaria, informing the gatekeepers of the deserted camp. The subsequent discovery of abundant food and supplies brings relief and salvation to the city. This story highlights how God can use the most unexpected individuals to bring about his deliverance, and demonstrates the power of faith and action in dire circumstances. 6. Jael and Sisera. In the book of Judges, Jael, a Kenite woman, kills Sisera, the Canaanite army commander, by driving a tent peg through his head. This story is a testament to the unexpected ways in which victory can be achieved. After a fierce battle, Sisera flees on foot to the tent of Jael, believing he has found a safe haven. Jael welcomes him, offering milk to drink and a place to rest. Exhausted from the battle, Sisera quickly falls into a deep sleep. Seeing an opportunity, Jael takes a tent peg and a hammer and drives the peg through Sisera's temple, killing him instantly. This act of bravery fulfills the prophecy given by the prophetess Deborah that Sisera would be delivered into the hands of a woman. Jael's decisive action leads to a significant victory for the Israelites, who are then able to defeat the Canaanite forces. Her courage and quick thinking highlight how God can use anyone, regardless of their status or gender, to bring about his purposes. Jael's story reminds us that deliverance and victory often come from the most unexpected places and people, showcasing the divine ability to use the humble and the unlikely to achieve great things. 7. The Valley of Dry Bones. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel is led to a valley filled with dry bones. God brings the bones to life as Ezekiel prophesies, symbolizing the future gathering of Israel from their dispersion. This vivid and powerful vision begins with God placing Ezekiel in a valley scattered with bones, representing a lifeless and hopeless state. God instructed Ezekiel to prophesy over the bones, and as he does, the bones start to rattle and come together, forming skeletons. Tendons, flesh, and skin cover them, but they remain lifeless until Ezekiel prophesies once more, calling for the breath of life. God's Spirit enters the bodies, and they stand as a vast army, alive and restored. This miraculous transformation symbolizes the revitalization of the people of Israel, who were exiled and scattered among the nations. God promises to restore them to their land and renew their spirit. The Valley of Dry Bones highlights God's power to bring life and hope to the most desolate situations, emphasizing the theme of resurrection and renewal. It serves as a profound reminder of God's faithfulness and the promise of restoration for those who trust in His divine plan. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some of the lesser-known but fascinating Bible stories. If you enjoyed learning about these hidden gems, please like, share, and subscribe to Glorious Gospels for more inspiring content. We'd love to hear your thoughts and favorite stories in the comments below. Stay tuned for more biblical insights and narratives that deepen your understanding and faith.